President Cyril Ramaphosa has just been rejected by President John Mahama. This is the news making the headlines on every social media platform, even on some news channels. But then, this is not true. President Cyril Ramaphosa was not rejected by President John Mahama, and that's because there was no state visit. There was no record of any state visits. So what really happened? Don't worry, I am here to tell you all about it. Welcome to Solid Finance Podcast, where we bring you finance and economic updates of things that are happening in Africa and the world at large. To understand why President Cyril Ramaphosa was trying to come to Ghana, you need to go back to what brought about this meeting. On March 12, 2024, during President Nana Addo's reign, there was a bilateral commission meeting between South Africa and Ghana. Now, this meeting was held in South Africa and was scheduled that the next meeting was going to be held in Ghana come July 2026. Now, this meeting was already scheduled 2 years ago before the Xenophobic Act between South African citizens and other African countries. Over the past few days, the news that has been flooding the internet is that President John Mahama snubbed President Cyril Ramaphosa or sent him back and don't come to my country because of your people. But then, that's not the truth. This headline has grabbed a lot of attention, but then it's not even telling half of the true story. This bilateral meeting between South Africa and Ghana was meant for them to discuss trade, business, investment, security, education, and cooperation between these two countries. But then, what is making the rounds is that he was rejected. This is not true. A bilateral commission meeting is not the same thing as a state visit. Before any country can go to another state for a visit, they have to write a letter formally telling the president that they are coming and if they can come, if they are prepared for them. But then in this case, this meeting was already scheduled to happen 2 years ago, so I don't know why Africans are blowing this out of proportion. According to the Reuters newspapers, on July 7th, Ghana has postponed bilateral meetings with South Africa that were planned for next month because of a surge in anti-migrant violence in the country. Ghana's government spokesperson said that on Tuesday. Spokesperson Felix Kwake Ofuso told local radio station Joy FM the violence would probably have overshadowed the August meetings, which were set to be hosted by Ghana and co-chaired by South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa and Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama. His message was clear: this is not the right time for us to meet. Let us reschedule. But then, Africans are saying it was rejected by the President of Ghana. They were meant to reschedule this meeting when the whole tension has eased. But then, trust South Africans, once they see any news, they also come online to debunk it. And as such, the spokesman for South Africa also debunked the news. According to City Newsroom, and I read, South Africa has clarified that President Cyril Ramaphosa's planned visit to Ghana has not been rejected, but only postponed, dismissing reports suggesting that Ghana declined the engagement. Vincent Magwenya, spokesperson for President Ramaphosa, said media reports claiming that Ghana had rejected the South African leader's visit did not accurately reflect the circumstances surrounding the development. What he's just trying to say is basically that they were meant to meet for a bilateral commission meeting where they go and discuss about the growth of their economy. He was not going there for a state visit or for relaxation. But then, Africans are just blowing it out of proportion because Africans are being xenophobic on other African countries. So the hate is just there. So whether this is true or this is not true, trust Africans to blow this out of proportion. Again, the message from South African spokesperson was clear. Our president was not rejected. The meeting was only postponed. Now, the reason why this news was really trending on social media was because a particular man came out on TVC3 News and then aired his own opinion of what is happening in South Africa. He said that a Ghanaian was killed during March and March in his place of work, and then a Zimbabwean witnessed it. It was looking like the South African government were trying to cover this up because they repeatedly said that there are investigations still going on in that area and that they're not sure if that information is true. Now, away from that, this particular episode is going to help us to understand that it's not every headline that you see that you believe or you jump into. Before you spread any rumor, make sure that you verify your information properly. President Cyril Ramaphosa was rejected by President John Mahama. It's a very dramatic and a very attractive topic. But then, That is not the truth. The real challenge now is not if South Africa was rejected. The real story is, can South Africans build back the confidence, the trust that other African countries had for them? When other Africans no longer feel safe in a fellow African country, this begins to destroy a lot of things. The bigger question is, after all of this that has happened between South Africa and Ghana, do you think that South Africa and Ghana can ever do business together again? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do well to like, do well to share, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Solid Finance Podcast, for more finance contents like this. Until next time, bye for now.